Introduction: the power of public handholding. Allow me to set the scene. AwesomeCon 2025, Washington, D.C. Thousands of people in cosplay, nerds and weirdos of every flavor, celebrities sitting on their thrones, patiently waiting to take photos with the peasants. Vendors slinging the hottest fan art I have ever laid eyes on. And me? I'm walking around like I just married the Hokage himself. Because I showed up as Hatake Kokoro, my original character, aka Hatake Kakashi, canonically unofficial, spiritually wedded, and publicly affectionate wife. And who was by my side? My real-life husband, fully committed to the bit, dressed as Hatake Kakashi. Mask? On. Sharinganai? Perfect. Warm yet detached? Absolutely. And I was over the moon. I'm Cora Poe, and after years of ADD and insomnia, I have obsessed over and studied many things. So, this is Slumber Myth, a place to put all that insomnia fuel. Okay, I spent the entire day holding Kakashi's hand as often as possible. I held it like it was the first place prize to winning at life. Like I was wielding the ultimate smug girlfriend energy, except more potent because I married that son of a... People stared, I smirked. Every time we heard, "Oh my god, it's Kakashi!" I savored the sight of them noticing my hand in his with the sickening greed of Madara. Firm grip, no hesitation. He was claimed, okay? This man belonged to me, in character and in life, and the whole con knew it. Cosplay prep, how to build a ninja wife. Let's rewind real quick, because the prep was its own level of chaos. Building my OC took a blood sacrifice and the whole of my mental capacity for obsession. I custom designed Kokoro to look like the kind of jonin that would seduce you, kick your ass, and steal your last dumpling, all while looking effortlessly hot. Tactical booty shorts, smoldering fox eyes, classic Naruto Anbu aesthetics, and 2 hairpieces that made my cosplay make ultra fans question their own knowledge of the show. Some being brave enough to let shame shadow their faces as they said, "I'm sorry, I can't remember your character's name. Who is she again?" Like, yes. Perfect. Kokoro was a success. She physically fit the Naruto bill so flawlessly. People questioned their own fanhood before questioning the canon existence of my character. My husband, meanwhile, was like, "Yeah, I'll wear the outfit." Cut to me styling his wig at 11 p.m. while he tries to act chill, even though he is secretly on edge because I just spent 4 hours on the thing. He pretends he doesn't care. How Kakashi of him. But this man practiced Kakashi's eye smile in the mirror, and countless times rehearsed the perfect, "Yo, I saw it." When the day came, we dressed like we were going into battle. And in a way, we were. A battle of attention. Well, he didn't know that. But I sure did. A war of thirst. A mission to make every Naruto fan at the con whisper, "Wait, who is she?" Which they did. The second we walked into the convention center, I knew I was going to be a menace. People were already turning heads for Kakashi. He's tall, he's broody, he's got the full Jonin uniform. And I'm just hanging off his arm like, "Hi, yes, this one's mine." I was high from this the entire day, and I leaned into it. I started introducing myself as Hatake Kokoro, the dream ninja, and saying things like, "Oh, don't mind me, I'm just here to supervise my husband. He has a tendency to disappear for long periods of time and return with trauma." I swear, every 5 seconds, somebody would point and yell, "Oh my god, it's Kakashi!" And I'd just smile like I'd been crowned. It wasn't just cosplay, it was a power move. PDA performance art. My cheeks hurt from grinning after the first 30 minutes of being there. And my husband, this beautiful, shy, secretly chaotic man. He kept up. He said nothing like 90% of the time, which made him even more Kakashi. And then, right when I'd least expect it, he'd hit me with a line so dry and savage that I would need a minute to recover. Like he was asked to pose and take a photo with a Sasuke cosplayer, and when the friend taking the photo said, "Now let's do a silly one." My Kakashi instantly puts his hands into Hidden Leaf Secret Jutsu 1,000 Years of Death formation. I nearly died. Sir, you are 1,000 years of killing it. Flirting in public, a hobby and a sport. Flirting with your husband in cosplay is an elite experience, especially when he is trying to stay in character and you are actively trying to ruin that composure in front of strangers. I continued to hold his hand like a trophy. I leaned into him while we waited in line for overpriced convention food, and I whispered things like, "The kiddos are so happy to see you, aren't they?" He gave me this one look of wholesome satisfaction, and I swear I felt my soul leave my body. At one point, in a particularly crowded part of the con, a wandering child, no older than 8, was alone holding some styrofoam and looking around worriedly. I saw their eyes fall upon my Kakashi and beeline for him. They looked scared and confused. Then their little voice, "Kakashi, where can I throw my trash away?" "Well, buddy, there's a trash can right over there. Good job." I melted like an ice cube in the sand village. Seriously, I had to get a hold of myself because the purity of that moment nearly made me ruin my makeup with tears. This sweet child, alone, surrounded by strangers, didn't look for the nearest security guard or con worker. No, he found Kakashi. Kakashi would protect him and tell him the right thing to do. Just the best. Some photographers were interested in my dedication to adding a new character to the Naruto universe and wanted me in the shot with my husband. I made sure half the shots were of me kissing him on the cheek or swooning over him, naturally. The best moment, the anime cosplay meetup. Okay, the absolute highlight of the day. We were walking down the main corridor. Huge open space, tons of foot traffic. We were just doing our little strut, hand in hand, full cosplay. Suddenly, one right after the other, every 5 seconds, a child would shyly tell their parents how they wanted a photo, or full-grown men would lean in and say, "That's a tough Kakashi cosplay, man." My pride in the masterpiece that was both of us made my head swell to the size of a watermelon. Artist Alley, retail therapy for thirsty ninjas. Of course, we ended up in Artist Alley, specifically Anime Yokocho. Of course, I bought emotionally compromising fan art of Kakashi, but was as chill as possible, restricting it to a beautiful keychain. You think I could walk past a wall of handmade hair bows and not get one with a little kawaii Naruto centered on the orange fabric? Please. My spicy shinobi husband also bought me a lovely pair of booty shorts with an image of Naruto's sexy jutsu on the ass with the word Hokage printed on them. Legendary. I wear them proudly. At one point, a vendor saw us and said, "You two are like if fan fiction came to life." And I took it as the highest compliment of my adult life. And my husband, still quietly all smiles, still Kakashi, just nodded and said, "It's all thanks to her." Celebs, panels, and pretending to pay attention. We honestly tried to go to a celebrity panel. We did, but it's hard to focus when your cosplay husband is sitting next to you with one leg crossed, all casually, cute mask and shrinking in place, and you're just sitting there thinking, I would climb him like a tree and no one would stop me. We got our picture with Sean Astin, because if you didn't know, Kakashi is a huge Lord of the Rings fan. We adore this man. Sean had the least expensive photo price, and not because he's washed up. This dude is in Stranger Things now, among other modern and relevant content, but he just wants everyone to afford to be included. Ugh, he's just the best. That's Sam for you. Love him. As we approached him, he threw his arms out and grinned and said, "Look at you guys!" in appreciation of the cosplay he didn't even understand. I pretended to be normal, but at last second, as I left that sweet, sweet man's arms, I said to him, "Thanks for being a good human." Stupid. Stupid! So worth it. From a distance, we did successfully view Orlando Bloom and John Rhys Davies with our own peepers, which was surreal and wondrous. After that, we sat and rested for a little bit, and I took some shots of my husband, and a couple with me all over him too. He made it impossible not to touch him. Kashi-kun's energy, too powerful. I am simply a girl with a Jonin husband and no chill. My dreams were fully realized this day. Takeaways. No regrets. So what did we learn from AwesomeCon 2025? 1. Public cosplay flirting should be an Olympic sport. 2. Walking around publicly holding your husband's hand while he's dressed up as Kakashi is a religious experience. I'm now devout. 3. The best way to own at con is to act like you've already won. And 4. There is nothing more ego-swelling than walking through the con arm in arm with Hatake Kakashi, letting the world know this ninja, he's mine. Outro. Kakashi's wife, signing off. In conclusion, I was flirty. He was warm yet stoic. Together, we were a delightful spectacle to adults and children alike. AwesomeCon 2025 was everything I hoped it would be. I laughed, spent too many monies, was called out as an original character exactly once. Everyone else questioned their own memories first. Opened my IRL husband's eyes to the magic of cosplaying a beloved character. And I have zero regrets. So, if you see a Kakashi at a con and he's holding hands with a stunning ninja wife who keeps calling him Kashi-kun or senpai and hanging all over him with a palpable thirst, that's probably me. You're welcome. Subscribe for more con chaos, cosplay breakdowns, unhinged nerd marriage goals, and generally shameless dorkiness. So until next time, hold hands, cause problems, and stay sexy. Hidden Leaf style. Jane, and happy nightmares.